So by default, this chapter is actually small. Okay. So if you see, this chapter is actually an extension of, or I can say an application of the one of the chapters you learned last year. Can you tell me what it is? You learned a chapter in 11th standard for which you are applying the concepts here for real-time applications. That's it.
Linear inequalities.
Yes. So we would have learned linear inequalities in a 11th standard, right? We would have discussed it. So it is this chapter, linear programming, is an application of it. Why it is called as linear programming, we'll see it throughout the process. So in this, what you will be doing is, for the given linear inequalities, we will approach solving them graphically. So when I ask you solving a linear inequality graphically, what is the meaning of it? So let me put the question like this. If I give you two linear equations, 2x plus 3y is 5, 3x minus 2y is equal to 7. If I give you two linear equations, and I ask you to solve them, indirectly, what am I expecting you to find out?
Values of x and y.
Values of x and y. Okay. So this one we have already discussed in matrix. Also, I told you when we discussed determinants, you are going to find the value of x and y. Let's say it is coming out as 1 and 2. I'm taking random values. So in terms of sets, we call it as ordered pairs. In terms of straight lines, we call it as point of intersection. Similarly, in the case of linear equalities, what can we call it as? It's nothing but the solution of both the equations. So we use the word solution. So for two given linear equations in two variables, if I ask you to find the solution, what are you going to do? You're going to solve both the equations and find the corresponding value of x and y. And what will be the property of those two values? Those two values will satisfy both the equations. Means you take 1 and 2, you substitute it in the first equation or in the second equation, it will satisfy. Right? So that is the meaning of solving linear equation. For example, if I ask you to solve two linear inequalities, what are you going to do? I mean, what are you going to get as an output when you solve linear inequalities? So here, in the case of linear equations, you got the output as an ordered pair. Whereas in the case of linear inequality, will you get the output as an ordered pair? Will it be a fixed number or will it be a set of ordered pairs?
Set of ordered pairs.
So what is the meaning of it? So what do the values in those ordered pairs actually represent? So the value of those ordered pairs represent that all those values will satisfy the region of inequality, right? So they will satisfy the region of linear inequality. Just give me a minute. Okay. So if suppose I give you a question like x greater than or equal to 0, 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 5. If I ask you to solve these two linear inequalities, then what are you going to do? You will draw a graph, right? So the graph should be drawn for this equation and this equation. So this is a linear inequality in how many variables? If I treat it as an equation, it's a linear equation in two variables, x and y. So linear equation in two variables, x and y, in mathematics represents what? In mathematics, what does a linear equation in two variables mean? What shape does it give us on a graph sheet?
A straight line.
It's a straight line, right? So if I give you 2x plus 3, wait, I'll take another sheet and explain it. So x greater than or equal to 0, 2x plus 3y greater than or equal to 5. So if I equate x to 0 and if I equate 2x plus 3y is equal to 5, then what shapes am I going to get? So 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. What will you do? How will you draw the graph in a simpler way? Though we know it's a straight line, the best way to draw it is find the x coordinate, find the y coordinate. That is, put x is equal to 0, y will come out as 5 by 3. Put y is equal to 0, x will come out as 5 by 2. So what are the coordinates? 0, 5 by 3 and 5 by 2, 0. Accepted. So both belong to the positive x-axis and the positive y-axis. So when you join these two, then this line represents what? It is 2x plus 3y is equal to 5, right? So you have these points. Now comes another question. X equal to 0 represents what? X equal to 0 is y-axis, right? So when I say x is greater than or equal to 0, can I say y is positive? So y will be positive in which quadrants?
First quadrant and second quadrant.
So first and second quadrant. So what I do is, can I shade this region for x greater than or equal to 0? See, by the way, I hope this chapter is over in your school, right? Everyone?
It's not good.
Yeah. So this is x greater than or equal to 0. When I say 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 5, so I drew the line 2x plus 3y is equal to 5. How do I choose the region for 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 5? What is the best point that I can substitute to verify whether that point satisfies the region or not?
Origin.
Yes. So when you substitute origin, what should happen? When you substitute the origin, see, for example, if I substitute origin, 0 plus 0 is greater than or equal to 5. Is the statement true or false? Is this mathematical
False.
statement true or false?
False.
So it's a false. So when I substitute an origin, and if the origin, by substituting, if my mathematical statement comes out to be true, then I need to shade the region which contains the origin. If not, I should shade the region which does not contain the origin. So 2x plus 3y is greater than or equal to 5 will be this region. Guys, am I clear with this? So this will be the region. So if both has to get simultaneously satisfied, then what should I do? So the blue color region is the one which represents x greater than or equal to 0. So for both the equations to be simultaneously satisfied, which region should I choose?
Second one.
It is this region. Right. So by selecting this region, what am I actually trying to say? So what do I mean by this region? What do the points in this region tell me?
Solution for the both equation.
Yes, means if I take any one of the points in this region, that is, let's say 5 by 2, 5 by 3, I'll take this and substitute in 2x plus 3y. See, that is 2 into 5 by 2 plus 3 into 5 by 3. It is 10. 10 is obviously greater than 5, right? So this is a point in the region that we have chosen. So any point from this region is definitely going to satisfy the given two linear inequalities simultaneously. It is not like it is satisfying one and not the other. So this is what you mean by solving two linear inequalities simultaneously. Means it should satisfy both. So this is anyways an application of last year concept, right? This is how you solve a problem in linear inequality, right? So let's see what is the application of linear inequality in this chapter, that is linear programming, and the concepts that are required for this year. So there are many applications in mathematics which involve systems of linear inequalities or equation. In this chapter, we will study the system of linear inequalities or equations to solve some real life problems and the types as given below. Okay, let me read out the example itself. From that, we are going to see some technical names. Let's try to understand. So let's say there is a furniture dealer. Okay, so he deals mainly with chairs and tables. So he deals only with two items, that is tables and chairs, and he has a budget of 50,000 to invest in it. Okay, and he has a place where he can maximum store 60 pieces. It is clearly given 60 pieces. It is neither 60 chairs nor 60 tables. It can be a combination of both. And it is observed that a table costs rupees 2,500 and a chair costs rupees 500. So he estimates that from the sale of one table, he can make a profit of rupees 250 and the sale of a chair, a profit of rupees 75. So what is the rate at which he is buying a table? He is buying at a rate of 2,500. But by the time he sells, how much is he going to make? 2,750. That is the rate at which he is going to sell. Similarly, a chair he is going to buy at 500, while selling he is going to sell it at a rate of 575. So with all these constraints, I'm using a word with all these constraints. So what do you mean by constraints? Constraints is a mathematical term that is used. What is the basic meaning of constraints? Anybody?
Limitations.
Limitations, or you can more to be more, it is the restrictions. So with all these restrictions, because he has certain restrictions, what are they? First thing, he has a limited budget, 50,000. Not like he can spend how much ever he wants. He has only 50,000 in hand, and he has a place which has a storage constraint. Means in the, you can assume your classroom. In your classroom, let's say let's say 45 students, 45 tables can fit. 45 means you divide it with 2. Okay, 22 tables can fit in your class. That is the constraint. Okay. So with all these constraints, he needs to think of the permutations and combinations possible so that he is able to make the maximum profit. Now the question is whether he buys one chair and sells it, or one table and sells it. Is he making profit or not? See, for example, let's say out of this 50,000, he has bought certain combinations. Okay, I'm saying let us say he has bought only one chair and he's selling it off immediately. Is he making profit in that or not? That is a question. Is he making? He's only buying one chair and selling it off. One chair, how much is he buying it for? 500. If he sells it off, how much is he selling it for? He's selling at 575. So is he making a profit or not? I'm only asking a true or false statement. Is there a profit in his dealing?
Yes, sir.
So there is a profit in his dealing. Similarly, he buys only a table and sells it. Okay. There also he is going to have a profit of 250 rupees. Right. Suppose he buys two tables and one chair and sells it off. That is three pieces he's selling. There also he has a profit. Like this, we can think of any number of permutations and combinations within the constraints, right? So within the restrictions that he have, we can think of any number of permutations and combinations so that he is able to make profit. But the question that comes here is, how much is the maximum profit he is able to make? If I put a question like this, what can we do? How can we solve this kind of a scenario? Let's say you don't know linear programming. If I give you a scenario like this, what are all the methods you can try to find out what has the maximum profit? It is possible that you prepare a table, right? So you can prepare a table where he is buying a table. This is the buying cost. This is the profit. Shares, buy, profit. Okay. Here you can put number. So for example, if he buys one table and two chairs. See, what I'm trying to say is we can use trial and error method to solve this. One table, one chair. You can put a table, you can calculate the profit, you can add and tell what is the value here. Similarly, one table, two chairs. Like this, if I ask you to write, how many such combinations will come? And moreover, is it an easy process?
No, sir.
Right? You will prepare a table from the total profit here. I'm saying you will have a list of numbers here. From those list of numbers, tell me which is the biggest number. So with that number, what you can say is, yes, this is how I'm going to buy and sell. It becomes tedious, right? It's a tedious process. So to overcome that, what we are supposed to do is we have a tool in our hand which is called as linear programming. Let's see what exactly it means. Okay. So these are the types of problems. So listen, he sells it at a profit of 75. He wants to know how many tables and chairs should be bought from the available money so as to maximize his total profit, assuming that he can sell all the items which he buys. This is a very important point because profit is possible only when he sells. Here we are assuming that he is able to sell. His dealing is completely closed. Okay. So such type of problems which seek maximize or minimize. So you will speak about maximizing in the case of profit, minimizing in the case of cost. From general class of problems is called as optimization problems, and this is the only thing you have in your syllabus because the mathematical formulation of linear programming problems is removed and unbounded problems are deleted. So your work is only to learn about these optimization problems. So what is optimization? Optimization is maximizing the profit or minimizing the cost. You're optimizing something. Thus, an optimization problem may involve in finding maximum profit or minimum cost or minimum use of resources, etc. Okay. So a special but very important class of optimization problems is linear programming problems. Okay. So this linear programming is applicable in many places like industry, commerce, management, science, and everything. So wherever you want to come up with these kind of conclusions, if a certain task is given, then you can think of this linear programming technique to solve that particular problem. Right? Am I clear till this step? Are you guys able to understand why we are studying this? Shall I proceed, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So in this chapter, we will study about linear programming problems and their solutions only by graphical method. No other method. See, there is also one of the methods, but we will not be using this method, right? So linear programming problems and its mathematical formulation. So mathematical formulation means you will be forming the equations. That is not there. That is what the transportation problem and all those things are. That part is not there. So for this year, at least, you're safe that they will give you the equations. Your work is only to solve and tell what is the maximum or the minimum values according to the question. Okay. So we begin with our discussion with an example of furniture dealer, which will further lead to the mathematical formulation of problems in two variables. So in this example, it is understood that the dealer can invest his money in buying tables or chairs or combinations thereof. Further, he would earn different profits by following different investment strategies. That is what I meant by this table. Okay. There are certain overriding conditions which are also called as constraints, which are restrictions. What are they? One is his investment is limited to a maximum of 50,000. So is his storage space, which is restricted to 60 pieces. Suppose he decides to buy tables only and no chairs, so he can buy 5,000 divided by 50,000 divided by 25,000. So he can buy 20 tables. Suppose he chooses to buy only chairs, he can buy 100 chairs. But what is the problem he's going to face? He cannot store it, right? But he can store only 60 pieces. Therefore, he is forced to buy only 60 chairs, which will give him a profit of rupees 4,500. So when this kind of process goes on, see, for example, if he's buying only tables and selling them back, he's making a profit of 5,000. Whereas he's planning to buy only chairs. He can buy only 60 chairs where the profit is restricted to 4,500, which is less than this. But still, on a comparative scale, I cannot say 5,000 is the maximum profit he can make, because this is one of such scenarios. Okay, there are many other possibilities. For instance, he may choose to buy 10 tables and 50 chairs. As he can store only 60 pieces, then the total profit in this case would be 10 into 250 plus 50 into 75, which is 6,250, and so on. Like this, many such cases are possible, right? To overcome that, what we are going to do is, we are going to see the mathematical formulation of a problem. So for mathematical formulation, we will be assuming the variables. Here, how many variables are we supposed to introduce? You will be mainly concentrating on two variables. What are they? One is x, which is related to the number of tables, and y will be related to the number of chairs. So one thing is clear, that the number of tables and number of chairs he is going to buy should be greater than 0 or at the max equal to 0. When I say equal to 0, he need not buy at all, right? That is also one such condition. So x greater than or equal to 0, y greater than or equal to 0 is called as a non-negative constraint. Okay. So how much is he buying one table for 2,500 rupees into, let's say he's buying x number of tables, plus what? He is buying each chair for 500 rupees into y. This total should be restricted to how much value? This total is restricted to how much value? Should be less than or equal to the budget he has in his hand, 50,000. Similarly, the sum of the number of tables plus number of chairs should be less than or at the max equal to 60. When I say at the max, it is less than or equal to. So these are the four equations we have in our hand for which we can actually draw the graph now, right? So how can we draw the graph? See. I'm taking it here because x is greater than 0, y greater than 0 means it is restricted to first quadrant, right? So what are the inequalities we have in our hand? 2,500x plus 500y should be less than or equal to 50,000. So two zeros will get cancelled. So it's divisible by 5. So what will be the simplified inequality? 5x plus y will be less than or equal to 100. So how to draw the graph for this? First, consider it as an equality. So when I put x is equal to 0, y is 20. So 0, 20. When I put y is equal to 0, x is, sorry, when I put, when I put x is equal to 0, y is 100. When I put y is equal to 0, x is 20. So 20, 0. So when I join these two, this gives me the equation of 5x plus 5 is less than or equal to 100. What is the other inequality we have in our hand? X plus y is less than or equal to 60. Right? So what can you say, guys? So when I put x is equal to 0, y is 60. So 0, 60. When you put y is equal to 0, x is 60. So 60, 0. When you join these two. So this one represents x plus y less than or equal to 60. So x greater than 0, y greater than 0, it is restricted to first quadrant. Then what are we supposed to do? Tell me.
X is greater than or equal to 0, sir.
So the intersection?
X greater than or equal to 0 and y greater than or equal to 0, they both mean first quadrant, no? X is positive, y is positive. It is first quadrant. Means whatever shading I'm going to do, I will restrict it to first quadrant itself. The important point here is you need to check each line with respect to origin. So somebody told me common region of intersection, common region where you shade. But before that, how will I find the common region? I need to substitute 0, 0 and c, no? if I substitute 0, 0 in 5x plus y less than or equal to 100, is it satisfying or not?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
So it is satisfying. So this is going to be the region. Means origin is a part of this curve. Similarly, if I substitute 0, 0 in x plus y less than or equal to 60, is it satisfying or not?
Yes, sir.
So it is satisfying. So let me take another color. Right. By doing so, I got different regions. Now I need to choose the common region. What is a common region that we are able to see? Is this not the common region that we are able to see? Guys, I hope I am clear. So this is the common region, right? So with this common region, what you have done is you have actually eliminated many such possibilities, okay, to make the maximum profit. So let us name the points as A, let me call this as B, and let me call this as R. Okay, now see. I just want to introduce certain terms to you. Okay, so the dealer wants to invest in such a way so that he maximizes the profit. Say that profit, let us call it as Z. Okay, so how do you write the equation for Z? Z is equal to, on one table, how much is the profit he's able to make? 250 rupees. And means plus, on one chair, how much is the profit he's able to make?
75.
75.
So this is the profit he can make. So if you see, this profit is also dependent on the number of tables and the number of chairs he buys. Again, if you write this equation and equate it to Z, then this equation is called as an objective function. Again, I'm repeating, you need not frame any of these things this year. Your work is only to solve the linear inequalities and go. Okay. So this objective function will speak about the maximum profit. So this for this objective functions values to be found, what are all the values we need to find? Why is it called as a function? Because it is dependent on something. What is it dependent on?
X and Y.
It is dependent on the number of tables and the number of chairs. Right? So from these equations that we have already formed, the constraint equations that we have formed, what we will do is we will be finding the value of X and Y, and we will substituting it here to find out which is going to give us the maximum profit. Okay, so let me read out the names alone. So we have to maximize the linear function set subject to certain conditions determined by the set of linear inequalities with the variables as non-negative. There are also some other problems where we have to minimize a linear function subject to certain conditions determined by the set of linear inequalities with variables as non-negative. So such problems are called as linear programming problems. Means solving all these linear inequalities using a graphical method and taking the value of X and Y that is found to substitute here is what is called as solving by linear programming method, and those problems are called as linear programming problems. So thus linear programming problem is the one that is concerned with finding the optimal value. Again, optimal value means it has something to do with optimization, which is nothing but maximum or minimum value of a linear function, which is called as the objective function. This linear function is called as the objective function of several variables, say X and Y, which is subjected to the conditions that the variables are non-negative and satisfy set of linear inequalities called as linear constraints. So these are called as linear constraints. See, the reason I'm stressing on all these words is in 1 mark, they might use these terms. Okay, so you should not miss it. So you should know what is an objective function, you should know what is a linear constraint, and all those things. So the term linear implies that all the mathematical relations used in these problems are linear relations, while the term programming refers to the method of determining a particular program or plan of action. So we plan to do something, like maximizing the profit is done by a planning process. So when you're doing the plan of action for linear relations, the combination of them is what is called as linear programming. Okay. So am I clear with all these terms, constraints, optimization problems, all these things are clear? You understood
sir.
what is an objective function, right? That's good. Okay. So with all these things, we have drawn the graph, right? The same graph is drawn by us. See, we have drawn the same graph. So you people know how to draw the graph also. Once you get the shaded regions, there are some important points related to the shaded region. What are they called as? What are those points called as? See, listen. I have drawn this graph, right? What do each point in this region mean?
Solutions.
Solution is right. Mathematically, it is solution. With respect to this problem, what do they mean? So this graph is related to a problem where a furniture dealer is trying to deal with the tables and chairs to make maximum profit. So it is like this. Try to understand. Each dot will give me an ordered pair. For example, if I take this dot, then what will be the coordinate of this point? It is 10, 10. What is the meaning of 10, 10 in this problem?
10 tables, 10 chairs.
Yes. So what he can actually think of is, for doing all those combinations, he can think of 10 tables and 10 chairs. Similarly, he can think of, let's say, 40 tables and 5 chairs. Anything of the combination. Sorry, 5 tables and 40 chairs. He can think of anything of the combination, such that in this region, whatever he is going to do, like whatever combination he is going to do, it will definitely be within his budget and within his space constraint. You take any value and substitute it, no? You take any value and substitute it, it will definitely be the sum of those tables and chairs will definitely be less than 50,000, and he can definitely occupy those number of tables and chairs in the room that he has. Okay, and this region has a technical name called as a feasible region. Okay, so every problem will have a feasible region associated with it, and in this case, what is happening is the feasible region is bound. So there are two possibilities. One is the region might be bound, the region might be unbound. Why I'm saying it is bound is because you're able to see a shape like this for that area. That blue color region is available in the shape like this. Is it not closed on all the states? So this is a bound region. So you're getting a bound region from all the linear constraints that you have. Sometimes you will get an unbound region, which is not our concern this year. Don't worry about that. So when this comes, how are we going to limit our thought process to find the profit? So what are all the points we will take into consideration to verify whether he is making profit or not? So I have points on x-axis and y-axis within that shaded region, right? Such that they are satisfying the constraint. 0, 60 means what?
Zero tables, 60 chairs.
0 tables, 60 chairs. When he buys this, maybe he can make maximum profit. Similarly, 20, 0, he can think of buying 20 tables and 0 chairs so that he can make more profit. And there is another important point, which is nothing but the point of intersection of those two linear constraints. Which two constraints, guys? 5x plus y is equal to 100 and x plus y is equal to 60. So 5x plus y is equal to 100 and x plus y is equal to 60. You know how to solve these equations. So when you solve them, you will get 4x is equal to 40, x will be equal to 10. When x is 10, y will be equal to 50. So 10, 50 is one of the points in the feasible region, which is the point of intersection of those two linear constraints. Okay. And these are called as the corner points. Okay. So I'll read out. So feasible solution points within and on the boundary of the feasible region represents the feasible solution of the constraints. So every point within and on the boundary of the feasible region OABC represents feasible solution to the problem. For example, 10, 50 is a feasible solution of the problem, and so are the points 0, 60 and 20, 0. Any point outside the feasible region, that is the unshaded portion, is called as an infeasible solution. Means he cannot think of that kind of a scenario for his business deal. For example, 25, 40, where is 25? 25 will be somewhere over here, 40 will be somewhere over here. This point doesn't belong to the shaded part. So it is an infeasible solution. So here our concept is restricted to feasible. So any point in the feasible region that gives the optimal value of the objective is called as the optimal solution. So since there are many points, right, infinitely many points within the shaded region, we can try out with the corner points, right? So what are the corner points that you have? 0, 60, 60, 0, and 10, 50. So what equation decides the profit? Z is equal to 250x plus 70y. So if I take x is equal to 0 and substitute it here, y is equal to 60 and substitute it here. Yeah, tell me.
Sir, we should take points which is belonging to the feasible region only, no, sir?
Yeah, feasible region. Yeah, feasible.
But you
Okay,
have
so
written
0.
60, 0, so that's why.
Where did I? 60, 0 is here, no?
Sir, but it's not.
Oh, that is 20,
feasible.
0. Huh? Wait.
Yes, sir.
Oh, sorry. I thought it is. I'm sorry. I took this point. Sorry. It is 20, 0. Now it's fine, right? 10, 50. Yes. So 20, so when you substitute 0, 60 here, what will the answer be? Z in the case of 0, 60 will be 4,200. Similarly, Z in the case of 20, 0 will be how much? 5,000.
5,000.
5,000. Similarly, Z in the case of 10, 50 will be how much?
6,000.
2,500 plus. So 6,000. That is the maximum profit you will be able to make. Because you substitute any other point inside it, it is going to be lesser than that. Okay. That is where the theorem comes into picture. So the theorem 1 states that let R be the feasible region that is called as the convex polygon for a linear programming problem, and let Z is equal to AX plus BY be the objective function. When Z has an optimal value, that is maximum or minimum, where the variables X and Y are subjected to constraints described by linear inequalities, this optimal value must occur at a corner point of the feasible solution. So what do we mean by corner point? Corner point of the feasible region is a point in the region which is the intersection of the two boundary lines. Okay. Is it 6,000? 2,500? Is it right? 2,500?
Yes,
6,250 is coming. Here he has written 6,250. Is there a mistake? Is there a mistake in our calculation?
So I think it's 75 into 50. Sir.
75, right? Yeah, it is 75. It is 75. So 75 means when you do that calculation, you will get the value as 6,250. Okay. Am I clear till this point? So the maximum profit. So what are all the corner points that he has? 0, 0, this one, and this one. So he has 4 points in the feasible region. By substituting all those 4 points in the equation of profit, right? By substituting all those values in the equation of profit, we will be able to find the maximum profit. That is the objective function, right? When you substitute it in the objective function, you'll be able to find the maximum profit. So what kind of questions they are going to ask you is, they'll give you the inequalities, they'll give you the value of Z. Your work is to find only the maximum or the minimum value. Okay, in this case, the minimum is going to be 0, obviously. Are you guys able to understand this? So
Yes,
from
sir.
this part, you can forget, you need not worry about it. Okay. So like how they will ask us, solve the following linear programming problem graphically. Z is equal to 4x plus y. Whatever it is, it might be some scenario. 4x plus y is what is supposed to be maximized. So how can we solve this? So what are the linear constraints that are given? X plus y is less than or equal to 50. 3x plus y is less than or equal to 90. X is greater than or equal to 0. Y is greater than or equal to 0. So every case you will have this. X positive, Y positive. Okay. So all the problems will be restricted to the first quadrant also. So X plus Y less than or equal to 50 means this point will be 50, 0. This point is 50, 0, and this point is 0, 50. So when you draw a line, when we say X plus Y is less than or equal to 50, in this case, is the origin satisfying or not?
Yes, sir.
So origin satisfies. So you have to shade this side of the region. Next, what are the equation that you have? 3x plus y less than or equal to 90. So 3x plus y less than or equal to 90. So when I put x is equal to 0, y is 90. So 0, 90. And when I put y is equal to 0, x is 20. So 20, 0. So 20
Correct.
is somewhere over here. Oh, 30, right?
Yes, sir.
30, 0 and 0, 90. You will have, oh, wait. You will have a region like this. Now, in this case, is the origin satisfying? Here also, the origin is satisfying. So, what is the common region again? So, in the corner region, what are all the points you are getting? So, what are all the points, guys?
Origin 0, 50.
0, 0, 0, 50, 30, 0, point of intersection. Can you find it quickly and tell me? X plus y is 50, 3x plus y is 90. So 2x is 40, x will be 20. X is 20, y is 30. So you will get 20, 30. Are you guys able to understand this? So 20, 30 is another point. So what are we supposed to do? Take all these values and substitute it in the place of z. So z will be, first case 0 for 0, 0. Z will be 0 plus 50. So 50 in the case of 0, 50. Z will be 120 in the case of 30, 0. And Z will be 20, 30. What will be the answer? 20 means 80. 110 will come out. So where are you getting the maximum value? You are getting it at 30, 0. So whatever it is, for example, if it was that table and chair problem, he needs to buy 30 tables and 0 chairs. So though we don't know what does X and Y represent here, that is the meaning. So are you able to understand what they asked by maximizing? Guys, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So
Yes,
one
sir.
more problem that they can ask is minimize. So minimize z is equal to 200x plus 50y, and these linear inequalities are given. So whenever you have to maximize something, right? Maximize will have the origin in it. Minimize will not have the origin in it. It will be some other shaded part. Most of the it will happen. Okay. So these are the linear constraints that are given. So I hope you know how to draw this graph. So once you get the shaded region, you need to write down all the points. So what are all the points that you have? Point A represents 0, 5, point C represents 0, 6, and point B represents 4, 3. You substitute all the values in the place of Z. So what will you get? Z will be equal to 200 plus 3000. Correct? So 200 is 0, right? So Z will be equal to 3000 for 0, 6, 2500 for 0, 5, 4, 3, how much will be the answer? 800 plus 1500. It will be 2300. So out of all the three, 3000, 25, 23, which is least, 2300 will be the least. So the least value in this case is possible when an ordered pair of 4, 3 is generated. Guys, am I clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is all about linear programming for this year. So as I told you, you need not do two things. What are they? One is you need not frame these equations. They'll give you the equations. Secondly, you should only be worried about closed region, which is bounded regions. You need not be worried about unbounded regions. So that's what you need to concentrate on. So once again, I will suggest you to do only one thing. Just go through the theory. You try to understand all the names that are given in the linear programming, all the technical names. Secondly, you practice these graphs. That's more than sufficient. Okay, you will get a 4-mark question. It might be 1, 3. This year they've brought in 3-mark questions, right? So you'll have 1 mark and 3 mark. Maybe a 1-mark question in the section A and 3-mark questions in the 3-mark section. Okay, so you can prepare accordingly. That's all from my side. So when you practice, if there is any doubt, you can approach me. Okay, just take a screenshot and send what issue you are facing. I'll help you out. Is that clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So that's all. So officially, this max syllabus is also over. You people start studying. I'll share the schedule of all the exams. Don't worry about it. Okay, but start preparing. Okay, just wait for a minute, guys.
Sir,
Yeah, tell me.
on 29th there's a test, right, sir? But our exams are starting on 30th.
Yeah,
So
I
will
saw
that be a change or?
I'll maybe for batch 1 I'll create a change. Don't worry. I'm planning it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know.